if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Well, we all remember that line from Joe Biden a few months ago, and apparently he's not the only one who thinks that. If you're getting paid to support the president, then you've got to be African American, because there's no way you could possibly do it on your own, right? We've got more from the interview that Craig Melvin with Georgia State Democratic Rep Vernon Jones. Take a listen to this.
Are you a paid campaign surrogate? Are you being compensated?
Never received. Let me be clear. You get paid to shape a liberal narrative. You get paid to attack this president. I don't get a dime for this president. When I'm African American, that's elected official.
I did not raise your
race. Let me finish now. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Whoa. You're not going to imply that I asked that question because you're black.
Left, and to insult me to say, am I getting paid?
I've asked the same question. I have asked the same question of Democrats who come on.
Wait, just to be clear, Craig Melvin says there that he's asked the same question of several others on the left. We reached out to both Craig Melvin and NBC, have not heard back from either one of them. So let's bring in the man himself, Georgia Representative Vernon Jones. Thank you for joining us, Representative.
Hey, Sean, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. I got to say that so far, I mean, the year's not done, but that is my favorite interview so far this year. But on a much more serious note, I've never seen anyone on the left ever get asked the question that was asked to you. And here's the thing that's interesting. One, do you know of anyone on the left that's ever been asked that? Number one. Number two, has there been any follow-up on your side from NBC or from Craig showing you one of these instances that they claim to have happened?
Well, let me tell you, you and I both know, and others know, that this was outrageous. They don't ask anyone from the left, black or white, whether or not they're getting paid from Joe Biden. You know, it just shows the bigotry, not only with the liberal media, but also the bigotry within the Democratic Party, that conservative-leaning black men and women do not fit a certain narrative, so we're outcasts or we're sellouts. Same thing with the liberal media. As I've been in business or in politics, I say, for the past 30 years, I'm educated. I got plenty walking around since. I think I know whether or not I can, on my own, make an independent choice in terms of who I want to support and who I feel who's doing the best job or will do the best job, but based on their policies and based on my own just research and my own understanding of what politics and government and public policy is all about. I'm intelligent enough to do that on my own. But they think that with their nurturing and paternal instinct, liberal Democrats, they think they know what's best for African Americans. They'll even build you a habitat home, but not in their community. So I just don't subscribe to that type of rhetoric or that type of bigotry.
Do you think it makes it hard? I spent 6 years at the RNC. We're always trying to reach out further to the black community, and I think we've got a long way to go, don't get me wrong. But I think it makes it very difficult when people like you said, you do your research, you figure out what's best for you, your community, your constituents, and you make a decision. But from that interview, I can tell you're not a guy to tussle with. You know, you're pretty strong in your convictions. But for a lot of people, especially younger people, as they make their rise up, that seems like a pretty tough tide to swim against when you're being told, hey, I think I might be a Republican, I might support Trump, I might this. If that's the backlash that you're going to face, it's got to be very difficult in that community.
Well, Sean, that's what they do. They see the left and the liberal media and the Democratic Party, those Marxists and those socialists, they send their agent provocateurs to attack people like me and other African Americans who are independently thinking with conservative leanings. They use those tactics to intimidate and to voter suppress us, keep us from thinking on our own and to run us back onto the plantation. But as I said many times, I turn that light off. They can have that sweet. I am not a part of that. And, you know, you talk about swimming up the current. You know, any fish can swim downstream, including a dead one. It takes a salmon to swim upstream. And so many African Americans, we're coming back now, letting them know that we are the part of Abraham Lincoln. We are the part of Frederick Douglass. And what I mean by that in terms of our ideology and our thoughts and how African Americans should be viewed and how we are, and not from this Democratic Party who has a history and I mean real history of slavery, bigotry, and discrimination and racism. So they're the real racists, not Donald Trump. is Joe Biden, who says that if I don't vote for him, I ain't black. Now, the ain't, I guess, is supposed to be some jive that he wouldn't say in front of a white group of white women or white businessmen. So that was an insult in itself. But then to imply that I don't have a brain, that sounds like Margaret Sanger, who said that black people were defected and they needed to be weeded out because they just didn't have the intellect. And again, another Democrat. So I'm not a part of that. And I think they know darn well I'm not a part of it. And others are coming out.
You know, Representative, it's refreshing to have a Democrat actually speak their mind and step away from what we see, these divide that we see, hard right, hard left. But you are a Democrat. Why are you voting for Trump? Can you let our viewers know?
Well, Donald Trump let me tell you, the difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden has a dream of what he will do if he's given the opportunity to become president. Well, he had 49 years and didn't do anything, so he's not going to do anything now. Donald Trump has a solid record of accomplishments, whether it's in opportunity zone districts, helping out historical black colleges, having a record number of low unemployment in the African-American community, as well as all communities, the way he's worked with small businesses and helped them to start and to grow, not to mention the fact how he stood up with unfair trade agreements with Canada and Mexico, and how he stood up to China when nobody else would stand up to China. He moved the Jewish embassy when all other presidents said they'll do it, but he did it. He actually got it done. He just had a record. Why not go back with him? We need 4 more years of him. He's doing a good job of balance between opening up this economy and America, while at the same time providing as much safety measures and tools and resources to get through this pandemic. And you know, it's important about his care for schools, getting kids back in school. Many of them their parents don't have the resources to get private tutors, or do they have access in rural areas to broadband so they don't have computers? And many of them don't get dinner or meals, square meals, unless they go to school. And not to mention being home by themselves and not in a structured environment, how can they learn? So we're leaving the child father behind. And so this president is dead on it. And any right-thinking Democrat would clearly vote for him over Joe Biden, who's sold out now to Marxists and socialisms and to Black Lives Matter, when really Black lives don't matter to them.
Representative Jones, thank you for coming on. If you do hear back from MSNBC, please let us know. We're trying to find out as well. I'd love to see this example on the left. Thanks for everything that you've done to explain why you're voting the way you are, and for coming out and being so forceful in your principles. I appreciate it.
Well, he said that he'll have me back on, so let's see. I look forward to it. I would love to come and just tell the American story.
You got it. That's a deal. All right. Travel safe, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right. Still to come. No surprise here. But the left-wing media, you know, the one that's so tolerant and inclusive, well, their employees seem to have a different opinion than they do. Up next, our company weighs in on the latest high-profile female to call it quits because of a lack of a diversity and thought.